Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Ajda, and if you love fashion, luxury, and staying in the know on global trends, then you're in the right place. Now, today we're going to be diving into something a bit different, but super relevant. These new tariffs and how they're shaking up the luxury world, from fashion to handbags to even tech. So grab your coffee or grab your glass of wine, depending on what time it is, wherever you are, and let's dive into it. So let's just do a quick recap of what's going on. The current administration is reintroducing and ramping up tariffs on certain important goods, and luxury items are definitely caught in the crossfire. So these include a 25% tariff on imported luxury cars. You've got a whopping 104% tariff on goods imported from China, and there's even rumors that can go up to 125%. And even items like iPhones, sneakers, high-end luxury fashion, those are all feeling the heat. So in terms of luxury cars, European car makers like Ferrari, Porsche, Rolls-Royce, they're already reacting. So Ferrari, for example, they have raised their prices by 10%. Jaguar Land Rover has hit pause on their US shipments. And Porsche is like rushing to get their cars into the US before tariffs hit. These brands don't manufacture in the US, so they really can't dodge these tariffs, and the cost is getting passed down to consumers. Now, in terms of the fashion industry, independent designers, they're really getting hit especially hard. Many of them rely on overseas manufacturing, and with all of these imminent tariffs, they're even seeing like canceled orders now, returned shipments, and their production costs are spiking. A lot of them are absorbing the cost just to maintain their relationships with retailers, but that's just not really sustainable in the long term. And the US doesn't have the infrastructure in place to just switch to domestic production. Like, that's just fact, and that is a real bind for a lot of these brands. Now, when it comes to luxury fashion and all of our reactions, like our consumer behavior, we're starting to see people like stockpile. Everything from sneakers to handbags. Some savvy shoppers are buying now before the prices spike even higher than they already are, which they're already high. Let's be real. Brands, they're launching promotions, they are accelerating their shipments, and it's kind of like a last minute dash before these tariffs really fully hit. We're already seeing rumors of more price increases on luxury handbags, and shoes, which could make already pricey items feel just like, well, even more out of reach. So if we look at like the bigger picture and what all of this means, industry analysts are now predicting that the luxury market will shrink by 2%, which is the first real dip since the Great Depression. That's because when prices jump and consumer confidence drops, then even the most loyal luxury shoppers are going to like rethink and just take a pause. And for brands that have already increased their prices over the years, and there have been some really aggressive price increases, hello, Chanel, there's just not a lot of wiggle room left before people just start to say, nope, hard pass. So what does that mean for you and me, the everyday luxury lover? It means prices could go up. Maybe they won't go up overnight, but there will be a gradual increase, and brands might adjust their pricing to protect their margins, especially in the US. And well, when you're already paying over $3,000 for a bag, even a 10% increase is no small change. So brands are clearly going to have to really rethink their strategy. They're probably especially reassessing their US strategy, maybe producing more domestically, or maybe shifting how much stock they send here, or maybe even focusing more on other markets where trade isn't really being affected or disrupted. It's a reminder that fashion isn't really just art, it's also business, and businesses adapt quickly when profit is on the line. So now that we've covered what's going on with these new tariffs and how brands and consumers are going to be affected and what they might do, what can you and I do as luxury lovers? Because let's just be honest, it's not like we're gonna stop loving luxury overnight, especially if this has been a part of our lives for so many years. Like, it's just not realistic. So there are still ways that you can indulge in luxury without having to pay more than you really have to. The first one is kind of like what we've already seen consumers do, which is to act sooner rather than later. So if you have the means and if you've been saving up, and there is an item that you've had your eye on, I would say maybe act now before price adjustments happen. Like, don't wait if you can afford to make the splurge now. The other option is to look pre-loved. And honestly, I've been looking pre-loved first for many years. I just love vintage handbags, as you all probably know at this point. And if you don't yet know, well, now you know. But the pre-loved market, especially when it comes to iconic pieces, you can find some really decent ones in really good condition for probably less than what they're going for in retail. I think the last thing, and this is something that I've started doing more and more, is to look at smaller designers and up-and-coming designers. There are some really good quality handbags out there from designers that are just not as well known as the big brands, and I think this is actually an opportunity for them to shine if they can. I mean, obviously these tariffs are going to impact them as well, but with price increases happening in the high-end luxury brands, I feel like this is an opportunity for some of those smaller designer brands to break through if they've been able to make sure that their overhead and their operations are stable through this. So yeah, many of them make their pieces domestically, and they're navigating this honestly more transparently than a lot of the bigger brands. It's not about panic shopping, so don't panic, but it's really about shopping smart. It's a moment of big change, and I'll continue to keep an eye as things evolve. I'm sure you will as well, especially when it comes to how these tariffs affect like fashion and accessories, handbags, shoes, cars, tech, all of the above. So let me know in the comments what you think. Are you changing your shopping habits? Are you worried about these prices going up, or are you just gonna ride it out and see what happens? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here as part of our little community. It would mean the world to me. And yeah, I will see you next week for another video. Take care. Bisous.